Now, it goes without saying that we will protect your identity. We don't want to get you into any trouble.
In case you're new here, Dr. Death is an American crime drama miniseries created by Patrick McManus based on the podcast of the same name. He became well known for permanently mutilating his victims, killing 2 of them in the process. Dr. Death Season 2 is coming. Here's what you need to know. More about Dr. Death. All episodes of Dr. Death Season 1 are available to watch online at Peacock. Please be advised that there may be spoilers ahead if you haven't already seen them. Here's all we know so far about the Dr. Death Season 2 release date and other details. When there are so many streaming service options available, it might be difficult to stand out. Nonetheless, I believe that for the most part, each service has done an excellent job of distinguishing itself. HBO Max, Netflix, and Disney Plus are the most well-known names in the business. In terms of content, HBO Max offers the most popular movies of the year, Disney Plus offers the best fandoms, Star Wars, Marvel, and Netflix is the most diverse, offering content from all genres. Because Peacock is giving Netflix a run for its money in the murder drama area with its latest series Dr. Death, we might have to make some room for them in the near future. In fact, I can't think of a single crime drama that I've enjoyed more than Mindhunter since I started watching it on Netflix, and that says a great deal. If you haven't checked out Dr. Death yet, you're missing out on a great show. With all episodes now available for streaming, it's a wonderful weekend binge watching option. While Dr. Death does not attempt to change the perceptions of its audience in any meaningful way, it does serve as an 8-hour affirmation of every fear and insecurity you have about surgery. As a result, it is more like shooting fish in a barrel than it is like shooting a pressurized scuba tank into a toothy fish's mouth. Perhaps this explains why, after about 5 episodes of Dr. Death, either familiarity or exhaustion set in, despite the fact that the series should have been capped at that length in the first place. Those who have seen it, despite the conclusion, are wondering if a second season will be produced. Here's all we know so far regarding a second season of Dr. Death. Dr. Death Season 2 release date. Unfortunately, the criminal drama has not been officially renewed by Peacock, and we're currently waiting to hear more information regarding a possible renewal from the network. This isn't inherently a bad thing, because it takes a few weeks following a show's premiere date for the platform to assess its viewership data. However, the podcast from which the series is adapted has already been renewed for a second season. If you're wondering how there can be a second season since the story of Christopher Duntsch has come to a close, the solution is easy. The cast. Joshua Jackson is the star of the film in the title role. Throughout the series, Jackson has been praised for his portrayal of the evil surgeon and has received numerous accolades for his work. Jackson will be joined by a star-studded cast that includes Alec Baldwin, Christian Slater, Dominic Burgess, Grace Gummer, and Molly Griggs, among others. The show is based on the true story of a real-life surgeon who, despite being terrible at his job, manages to rise through the ranks of medicine. Duntsch is a spinal surgeon who frequently leaves his victims severely injured or dead as a result of his procedures. In the show, we learn about his heinous activities in the operating room, as well as the efforts of the district attorney in bringing him to justice once and for all. Joshua Jackson is typically underappreciated, and he does it with a wonderful blend of foolish confidence and careless sociopathology. He captures the inflated ego that so often masks incompetence, embodying a guy who believes he can just work past his inadequacy. There are men like Chris Duntsch out there who believe that if they tell themselves that they can make a difference in the world, that it will come true in some way. What distinguishes this scenario from the others is that most of these individuals are shot down before they can cause serious harm, whereas Duntsch was repeatedly enabled. When I watched Dr. Death, I couldn't stop thinking about Spotlight, another film about disgusting predators who were transferred around the system rather than brought to justice. Dr. Duntsch was given a carte blanche to perform scores of life-altering botched procedures and even murdered a handful of individuals before he was brought down by upstanding colleagues. The chilling true story behind Dr. Death. The operating room sequences in the new Peacock series Dr. Death gives me goosebumps, and while all of this summer's horror films are doing their best to terrify us, none of them will come close to giving me the same feeling. And it's not even that the sequences in which Dr. Christopher Duntsch, Joshua Jackson, performs spine procedures are particularly bloody or grotesque, are particularly graphic. It's the fact that Duntsch is a dangerously incompetent individual. It's horrifying to see Duntsch botch one surgery after another while using stomach-turning sound effects and the shocked expressions of the nurses around the table as a backdrop. The fact that Duntsch was grunting and shouting like he was unclogging a kitchen sink drain rather than doing delicate surgery on an unknowing patient forced me to turn away several times. The 8-part series Dr. Death is based on on the popular true crime podcast of the same name, produced by Wondery. It is times like this that bring the case to life and allow us to comprehend how he was able to commit such heinous crimes. Duntsch was charged with killing or maiming 33 patients over a 3-year period, all while hopping from one Dallas hospital to another and avoiding detection. Two doctors, Alec Baldwin and Christian Slater, are determined to prevent Duntsch from entering an operating room again as the episode opens in 2012, near the end of Duntsch's period of error. However, they are up against a healthcare system that is geared to protect doctors, and the charismatic Duntsch knows how to take advantage of it, how to project an air of confidence and certainty despite the mounting evidence against him. In later episodes, the show delves more into Duntsch's past through flashbacks, although the show never fully resolves the question presented by Baldwin's character early on: was Duntsch incompetent or a sociopath? A combination of both, according to Jackson's layered and deft performance, is suggested. That Duntsch was an out-of-control narcissist who was unable to face the fact that he was dangerously bad at his job, as well as someone who was more concerned with maintaining his own reputation than with the well-being of his patients. Although it may not be the most appropriate time for the premiere of a show about a fugitive doctor and the medical system that protects him, we are now trying to convince those who are opposed to the COVID-19 vaccination that it is necessary. Dr. Death is ultimately a show about not distrusting all doctors, but rather making the bad ones accountable for their actions. Trivia: Jamie Dornan, best known for her role in 50 Shades of Grey, was originally cast in the role of Duntsch, but was forced to withdraw when production was delayed owing to COVID. I believe that Dornan's previous experience portraying dark characters would have worked against him in the role of Duntsch. In order for us to think that patients would place their trust in Duntsch, we must believe that Jackson, best known for the 1990s teen drama Dawson's Creek, still has an endearing boyish charm that elicits immediate, if unwarranted, trust from viewers. Prior to his license being revoked by the Texas Medical Board in less than 2 years, the real Dr. Christopher Duntsch had been accused of harming 33 out of 38 patients in less than 2 years. Duntsch was determined to play football for a Division I college team while still in high school, and he dedicated himself to training throughout that time. After making it onto 2 college teams, one in Mississippi and the other out of Colorado, former teammates reported that he struggled to keep up in practice and would beg coaches to let him continue his pursuit of football. He had determined that he wanted to be a neurosurgeon and was not going to let anything, including a lack of competence or training, deter him from pursuing his dream of becoming one. In fact, at first glance, Duntsch appeared to have what it took. He entered the University of Tennessee at Memphis College of Medicine's MD-PhD program and volunteered for dozens of hours in cancer and stem cell research before dropping out. Duntsch's substance misuse was brought into the notice of the University of Tennessee after an anonymous tip claimed that he was using narcotics before going to work each morning. What is your take on Dr. Death, the show, and the man?